I find myself once again asking the question, what is the point of art? It's not like there isn't one. I know that. I know I enjoy art. I know I care about it. I know I want to be an artist. I know many people out there, maybe even you yourself, want to be an artist as well. And I just stumbled upon another YouTube video where the title is I Tried to Follow My Passion for Art, but Now I'm 32 and Unemployed by Kamikaze Short Bus. I have not watched it. This isn't a response to that video, but the stereotype itself is well enough to be known as a stereotype. The starving artist. I could maybe say that even the very fact that dreams can motivate people even when they don't make the money might still say something about their value, even if it still hasn't been turned into a living. And when I consider closest to the obvious answer that I can personally think of is to balance. Not that it's easy, but to get a job and then fit art around it. Now, I haven't done that. I remember my dad explicitly told me not to get a job, and that it confuses me still to do that. But he sat, like, whenever I mention the idea of getting a job, he sits me down for 2 hours and tells me not to. It really confuses me. And now and again, I think I should just still go get a job anyway, despite what he says, because the lack of sustainability in the way I'm currently living my life, living with my parents, it does alarm me. It does. At the same time, I know that one of the motivations of my father is that he wants me to be an artist because he's an artist as well. Though he wants me to specifically be a musician because he's a musician, I want to do more than that. I can't keep squandering this time that I have right now. I mean, I can. I do it a lot. What I rather mean is I shouldn't. And I assume, and if you all have better ideas in the comments, let me know. I think the best way to engage with that is at least some semi-consistent scheduling of blocking out an hour a day. Could be any time of the day. Could even be non-sequential. It could be a half hour in the morning, half hour in the evening, 6 segments of 10 minutes or 10 segments of 6 minutes. And on the inevitable days where we go by not doing what we set out to do, not treating that as the end of the world, we can make slow and steady progress over time with patience. I don't see any reason why both you can pursue an artistic endeavor, one to enjoy the journey itself for your own sake, while also doing that for the potential of a career down the line, be it months or years. And then still with the rest of the day, you can do more general things, the things you have to do as an adult, obviously, job, chores, etc. What we really need to do is care. Above all else, we just need to care about what we're doing. And part of you does. Because if you have a dream that's still in the back of your head, if you didn't care, it would have gone away at one point. You might think you don't believe in it anymore, but you can't forget about it, can you? Or at least, I'm just describing my own experience. I'm projecting. But we gotta be patient and do something with it, I think. I think we have to remind ourselves, or I have to remind myself, that producing something new will never be the same as viewing something new. I can't entertain myself with something that I've crafted for hours, weeks, months, or years in the same way that I would feel watching a new movie, because you can't surprise yourself. And what you'd think at the end of a big project is something that you can stand back, look at with pride and say, I did that, or I was a part of bringing this into existence. And that's a different feeling. But even then, that's losing sight of the more important thing, which is enjoying the process. If you're an artist, you need to have a process, to build a process. There is no one process that someone's going to hand down to you from on high that is the correct way of doing things. What you need to do is make one of your own. One that works for you in your life, your quirks, your idiosyncrasies, It doesn't have to be pretty. In fact, I'll go further and say it shouldn't be pretty. No one expects you to come up with a story that's captivating enough for a movie by throwing you out onto a stage and expecting you to improvise for 90 minutes, jumping role between role and just acting everything out in real time. That's impossible. I found myself wanting to dream that if I only got my brain into the right place, that I ought to be able to do something like that. And to a degree, there is efforts that one can do to make oneself more creative and better fit into the creative space. But that was an extreme example I gave. That is unrealistic, unreasonable. I don't recall how many times I've heard of a screenplay getting finished in a day or something. I don't know how often that's true. I don't know if that was just the first draft in a day. And I don't know how many times the screenplay was written in a day and it doesn't show, and how many times it was written in a day and it does show. I have no idea. Just don't be unreasonable with yourself. Take your idea and make it into a tangible piece of hot garbage, and then fix that garbage into something that's okay. Because it's not going to be right the first time. You just have to continuously provide input. You can't just sit there and just let your brain go get stuck in a loop and just sit there blankly staring at whatever it is for 20 minutes. You have to provide something to it. And it's when you write down a line of dialogue that's crappy, or you draw a pencil line on a sketch in the wrong place, you play a wrong note in a song, then that's something that you can observe its effect and figure out what it is about that's wrong and fix it. But yeah, bottom line, just do it. I think I've rambled on for long enough. Be well.